So with that, that's my contact information. More than happy to answer any questions today or later. And if we have time for a couple questions.
Yeah, why don't we take about 5 minutes or so for questions, and then we actually have a member of the steering committee that's going to come up and just make a few comments, add a little bit of context to this. Did you want to do that now, Peter? Okay, come on up, Peter. This is Peter Kaplan. He works with the Colorado Hospital Association, and he just wanted to say a couple words to help put in context some of Mary's remarks. And that came out again.
Thank you,
over
Chris.
Here.
I'd like to just introduce myself, Peter Kaplan. I'm a special consultant to the Colorado Hospital Association's Colorado Telehealth Network. We are the FCC Award Program, which you'll be hearing about later from Steve Ward. I had the great pleasure of starting out my telemedicine career back in the mid-90s, and two of the more influential people in my development were Mary and Dale Alverson, who I'm also happy to say was able to join us today. And it was a great education for me starting out running the High Plains Rural Health Network, to have them both available to help me understand the challenges. Suffice it to say that the points that Mary made today about, and in the questions that Chris had posed earlier about barriers to entry for telemedicine and telehealth, sad to say, are the same issues that we started out with 15 years ago. Not much has really changed except perception. The reality is a lot of things are different, although the perception is we're still laboring under some very difficult challenges to make this a viable service. And for those of us who've been in the trenches for 15 years trying to make this a viable solution, we really struggle with some of this. But know that we are our time is now. There's a convergence of perception that now we can make a difference. We have people who are actually very comfortable now coming into the profession using technology. Most of us in the audience use technology. So we believe that there are ways of making this an extremely successful application of technology. There are reimbursement models that don't necessarily rely on insurance payout, where we can build programs that are self-sustaining, which is a major challenge that you'll be hearing about what we're doing here in Colorado. For many years, most of these programs really languished because there wasn't a sustainable business model to support the initiatives after the grants had run out. We are going to address that, and we have some really excellent strategies that we believe will be viable not only here in Colorado, but working with our partners in states surrounding us. There will be an initiative that you'll hear more about, the Four Corners Initiative, and we're lucky to have Deb LaMarche from Utah today, who will also be talking about how Utah, New Mexico, Colorado, and Arizona are all looking at ways of collaborating as a region. So just to give you that context, we are making progress, although I hate to say that a lot of the issues that we've been looking at today are issues that we've struggled with for a long time. As a segue into our next round, I think Chris is going to be facilitating what we are calling a tabletop discussion on what are the tipping points that are going to be key for us to get over this hump about not only the acceptance in the public, but within our profession. And I think as Mary pointed out, and we certainly know this to be true, patients tend to really enjoy the opportunity of being on television. We've had stories of people coming to their telemedical consults dressed up, hair made, hair done, and really really enjoying the opportunity of being on camera. And so we don't think that there's really a lot of opposition to the idea of using this technology, especially for those of you who live on the Western Slope or in the Eastern Plains. When we have really adverse weather, the opportunity of not having to travel to get quality care is really a fundamental opportunity of what telehealth is about. Having said that, we do have some opportunities to really push this solution over the top, and I think what we're going to do for the next few minutes, certainly first we want to field questions for Mary, and I think she did an outstanding job, so let's just give her an applause now. I think Mary absolutely covered and really summarized extraordinarily well the challenges that we have faced and the opportunities that are in front of us. But as we move forward, we'll have a few minutes to discuss what are the tipping points necessary to bring this into the fore for the healthcare. And rest assured that for those of us who are working on the Colorado Telehealth Network, virtually everything that Mary alluded to, we're trying very desperately to organize, and you'll hear more about that from Steve and Margie today about what we're doing here in Colorado. But I certainly want to encourage any of you to, if you have questions, let's get them out there right now.
Okay, thanks, Peter. So if you do have questions, please come to one of the two mics that are in the middle of the room here, and go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes.
Excellent presentation. I'm Rich Backlar, by the way. I'm at IBM. One question I have is that traditionally healthcare reimbursement has been cherry-picking those sickest patients who typically are rehospitalized and trying to use the savings to fund programs. We're starting to see, I guess, interest where consumers can start taking a more active role and actually pay for premium services, such as the Starbucks model, where a cup of coffee was 25 cents and now it's $3. Are there opportunities? Have you seen the implementations where consumers are willing to invest in their health care?
We have not seen a lot of that per se, but we're starting to see inklings of that. For example, not necessarily in our region or in our system, because we don't have an extensive home health opportunity, but we have been hearing about programs that are developing their home health and focusing on the kids and saying, okay, you have an opportunity to monitor mom or dad. We can do that for you for a price. And children are saying, yes, sign me up, I'm there. Not a problem, what you need, I'll pay it. And that's, I think, an area where we will see, as you say, kind of that premium pay opportunity, and I think that will continue to grow, not just in the home health, but in other aspects of healthcare as well. And I think where telehealth can really help in that area as well.